Are you ready for the heavyweight championship of the world? Are you ready?
Hey, welcome to Unanimous Corner, bringing you another episode of Unanimous Decision. And today, who are we talking to, Bill?
Hey, we got a good one for you today. You know what it is, exclusive interview. We got a guy who's a part of a group that brought you Here I Go Again. It also brought you Love is a House, and it brought the ballad, monster ballad, Tender Love. We have with you today the none other Stevie D of Force MDs.
Ladies and gentlemen, let's get ready to rumble!
All right, Stevie D, appreciate you coming on the show. We truly appreciate it. Hey, if y'all don't know who this is, Force MDs. Hey, Tender Love.
Yeah.
Welcome to the show, sir. How you doing today?
Time to step in the ring, Steve.
How you doing, man? Glad to be here, man. Glad to be here. And it's I feel a little under the weather, but I'm back. I feel a little better, but I had to talk to you guys, man, because you guys are known for doing great interviews, and I'm in for it right now.
There we go.
Okay, man, that's a compliment.
Appreciate you.
That's a compliment to us. All right, we appreciate it. All right, well, hey, y'all ready? We ready to go?
We ready. Let's step into the ring, guys.
All right, here we go. So, all right, Steve, at what point was it, if you could go back to your earliest memory of yourself and when you started singing or whatever, when did you know you could sing?
Okay, it had to be in public school. When we were young, me and my brothers, I'm the second oldest out of my family. My brother TC's the first. I'm the second oldest. My brother Khalil's third. Got a brother named Melvin and two sisters. Being in public school, PS44 in Staten Island, New York. At that time, that's when the Jackson 5 came out, and everybody and their mother wanted to be the Jackson 5. But out of everybody that was out there, we sounded like we was young. We sounded like Little Michael. We had the little squeaky voices. And everybody said, hey, man, y'all can sing, So me and my brothers all just thought about just trying to put a singing group together. So we stayed in the living room singing, just listening to Jackson 5 songs and rehearsing and singing. And then my dad used to bring people over. Our story is so similar to the Jacksons a little bit. And my dad, who was a truck driver, and he used to bring some of his friends over that had beers. He used to call us up late at night. Steve, TC, Khalil, come in here. It could be 1 a.m. while in there smoking, drinking. Mm-hmm. We in there with our drawers. What's going on? Wiping cola eyes. Show these boys. Sing the Jackson 5 stuff y'all be singing. And we used to sing, man. The guys like, all right, man, they're good, Bob. They used to give us a little $1 here, $1 there. Mm-hmm. We was happy over that. Oh my God, he gave us $1. So that made that my father was already proud of us at the young age, knowing that we can sing. So that's good because the singing comes from my mother, who's the singer. Her whole family, Daniel family, they sing in churches, and we used to go to church, watch my mother sing. So that's where the singing all came from my mother.
Cool. And Steve, another thing y'all got in common with the Jacksons, I know you said y'all kind of wanted to mirror yourselves after them. They're like the first group I think of when I think of their hometown. Now, when it comes to Staten Island, a lot of I don't remember a lot of groups coming out of there. So do you remember anybody from Staten Island making it before you guys did?
No, not R&B.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
We were the first to come R&B and hip hop from Staten Island. They had a doo-wop group. I don't remember the name, but it was an Italian group. They big song was called Little Star. But I don't remember the name of the group, but that's the only group that ever came out of Staten Island, an Italian group. But when it comes to black groups, we was the first to ever come out of Staten Island.
Cool. And y'all paved the way for some rap groups later on.
Yeah.
Iconic. Yeah, before Wu-Tang, it was y'all. So y'all kind of put Staten Island on the map. That's what's up.
Well, Mac Wilds, all these other guys, Shaheem, a couple of people. Gregory Abbott.
Mm-hmm. And you eventually got to work with some of the rap groups that we're talking about in Staten Island. So shout out to like Ghostface Killer. You guys were featured all over that Iron Man album. So that's nice that you kind of kept the home, supported the home team.
Great friends of ours.
Yeah.
That's what's up. So, you guys, like you said, you came, you try to, imitate, I guess, the Jackson 5 and that whole.
The Jackson 5, that was pretty much the first group we started imitating.
Okay.
Without foot in the door, because I got to tell this quick story that really did it. We used to love sports. All we did was play football, softball. We played topsies. I don't know if y'all know what that is, but that's what we played topsies. These are hobbies we used to do. We used to play a game in Staten Island called Coca-Ring-a-lario. That means you have a team, you go hide in the projects, people got to find you. They find you, they got to hold you and count to 3. Coca-Ring-a-lario, 1, 2, 3, 1, 3, Coca-Ring, and you hold. Then you're like a prisoner. You got to sit the bench till they find all the people. It's a great game. But that's something we used to do all the time. So when we was playing football one day and it started pouring down raining. This is a true story. Pouring down rain. And we went in the house and we sat down watching TV, me and my brothers. I want you to think of the back of our heads looking at the TV. And there was the Jackson 5 singing I Want You Back for the first time. That put the spirit in us right there. That made us want to sing. That they was the first ones that put that thing in us, made us want to sing. And once we had that down, we started listening to the Manhattans, the Whispers, Elvis Presley, key guy. Elvis Presley was a key influence also to us because we used to imitate him. We used to call ourselves the Chocolate Elvis and do the Elvis. People enjoyed it very much. That's something we used to do. Stevie Wonder's another one. These are like just name some of the acts. Earth, Wind, and Fire. Because these are some of the acts we did on the Staten Island Ferry. I'm just thinking on the acts, the stuff we did on the Staten Island Ferry. But just to name a few, that's the one that really influenced us to really start singing and making a name for ourselves. It got to the point that we had to sing in front of our project builders, a big bench that people we had an audience almost every other night. We had a lot of mosquitoes out in Staten Island. So we used to burn leaves in garbage cans. The smoke can get mosquitoes away, but we had a crowd full of people watching us sing every night, doing Mike Jackson 5, Elvis, because it was just 3 of us at first, me, my brother TC, and our brother Khalil. Then later on, my Uncle Jesse D, that's my mother's brother. He's living with my grandmother, and my grandmother told him to come live with us for a while because he was too bad. So he came with us. We didn't know that Jesse D could sing. And we heard us sing. Say, I could sing too. So he sounded like Michael Jackson too. He's like, damn, he's in the family. What's going on? So we added him to the group, and that's when we called ourselves the Fantastic LDs. LD. Lundy's and Daniel. We had to use his names in the group now. First we was called the Lundy Brothers. Then we changed it to LDs, the Fantastic LDs, and that's where everything started moving from that point on.
So when I think about you guys, right?
Yes.
I think about Full Force. I think about Riff. You remember Riff?
Right.
All of y'all had like a old school 5/4/5 part harmony type sound, but with a more like that, just a new modern way to sound like that. Was that intentional?
No, I gotta say this since you mentioned it. I gotta say about Riff. Riff is one of the most underrated groups. It's no other. Like I know we get the underrated tag a lot, but they get it. They get it more than we get it, and we recognize their talent. Full Force is just like everybody. We remind of Full Force because our name. Everybody Force. Everybody gets us. That's the Riff is more like we are. Like it comes to group, they're a lot like we were because they definitely just can go anywhere and just hit acapella out of right from drop of a dime. That's when I knew Riff had when I heard him in Lean On Me. I said these dudes are good right here. So Riff is definitely a big respected group of ours. We talk nowadays and they look up to us and we look up to them too. So they definitely a comparison that you can name a lot is Riff at a lot of groups.
Yeah, so they are, and I know at the time what you guys, like Bill said, what you guys were doing was different. Now they call it doo-wop infused with like elements of hip hop and all that, but no one heard it. So take us back. The first album comes out. Tears is on that. It's top 10 on R&B Billboard. What's your confidence level after that point?
Okay. First, when we got discovered, that was the confusion for the part that they didn't know what to do with us until they, okay. Let me go into singing as the LDs. We was on the Staten Island ferry. That was our hustle thing. We found out that we seen a guy singing country songs in a boat, and he's making money, and we had no money. We said, hey, this guy's making money doing this. We won all the talent shows in our hood. What if we just started singing a cappella what we do and see if we could make some money like this gentleman out here is making money? So that's what we did. We sung, and we became the biggest hit on the Staten Island ferry. Every time our motto was, if you're broke, let's hit the boat. That was the Staten Island ferry. So that's what we did until we bumped into a gentleman named Mr. Magic, who was the biggest DJ in New York City. He's the first to play rap music on the radio, but he was a big name out there. And he had a sister lived on Staten Island, seen us singing. And he said, yo, you guys, man, you guys ever try to think about making a record, man? And he was like, yeah, man, right now, man, we just trying to make money right now. So I'm telling you, man, I'm going to introduce you to a friend of mine named Tom Silverman. He owns the record, Tommy Boy Records, man. He has to hear you guys sing. So we took it over there. Now, mind you, I was rapping too as Force MCs. I was doing that on the side with my man Mercury. And that's another whole nother story, but that's the part of hip-hop doo-wop that we all put together. So me and Mercury used to rap. It was DJ Dr. Rock in the hood, a hot, new, upcoming act in all the hot clubs in New York as the first guys from Staten Island rapping. Okay, that's some of the history of these first guys rapping too. So Mr. Magic takes the LDs to Tom Silverman. He said, well, let me hear what you got. So he said, do what you did on the Staten Island ferry. We sung for him. He was blown away. He's like, wow, you guys do it. And I brought Mercury along because my brother Khalil didn't want to go on that trip. So Mercury came along and we brought Trisco along. Trisco was on the boat on the way to their audition. He was in a group called Triscopearson. They broke up and Trisco rejoined. That's how the five of us got on. So he heard us sing. He said, man, you guys can do it, man. He said, what else can you guys do? So we can rap too. That's me and Mercury went to our rap style. Started rapping. I'm good at freestyle on top of my head. Okay. He's blown away. So he said, what are we going to name you guys? He says, you say your LDs and your Force MCs. You guys rap. So what can we name you guys? We couldn't say LDs because of our last name. Me, Khalil, TC with the last name Lundy, and Jesse's last name is Daniels. But this included Mercury and Trisco, who had different last names. Mercury's last name being Nelson and Trisco's last name being Pearson. We couldn't use LDs anymore. So we stuck with Force. But we changed the C instead of saying Force MCs. Everybody just think we rap. We said Force MDs, standing for musical diversity. That means we're a versatile group. And Magic Miss Tommy Boy suggested that. What about Force MDs? We said, yeah. We wasn't sure at the first. We said, yeah, we just want a record deal. Yeah, I like that. I like the ring of that. So we got a little hyped up. Yeah. And okay, they put us in the studio. They just heard us started this part. Tommy Boy's wife, a Caucasian lady, produced a lot of our earlier songs. Tears, We Love You. People didn't know that. They think
really
a white
you say,
woman did this.
Really?
Whoa. Steve, yeah. when you say Tommy Boy's wife, you talking about Silverman?
Yeah, Tom Silverman. Sorry, yes.
Yeah, okay, all right.
Yeah, his wife's name is Robin Haplin. If you look at a lot of our albums, you'll see R. Haplin.
Okay.
A lot of our earliest songs, a lot of our stuff. And she actually produced Tears also. And we released Let Me Love You, was a mediocre hit. Forgive Me Girl was a mediocre hit. But Tears was our first top 10 record when my brother TC really unleashed his falsetto. That's when he's like, whoa, these boys can really get down. I thought there's like a little hip hop R&B group like breakdancing and doing this, but they could really sing some soul songs. That really like broke the ice because that was our first top 10 single ever. And that's when they opened a lot of doors right there.
So, no, go ahead, Barry.
No, I was gonna say that first album it was great, you know, but some of my favorite singles is on that second one, and I think that's what Bill was alluding to. But you got it, Bill.
No, I had a question because you mentioned a little earlier the whispers. And man, everybody, I mean, if you know music, you know about the lady and
Oh yeah, sure.
treat them. Come on, you should know about them. But then you also mentioned the Manhattans. You mentioned Stevie Wonder. You mentioned Elvis Presley. You mentioned the Jackson 5, right? So if I'm thinking about eras, right? So I'm thinking about you talking about Elvis and you got the 60s, 50s, you know, 60s, 70s, 80s, all this mixture going on. Then you're in New York, so you can hear a lot of that, especially with the 70s disco era, all that music, everything is around y'all, right? And then comes the 80s. And the 80s, that's for me, that's the birth of that's where my R&B start, kind of my R&B that I grew up on started, right? So what would you say is the best era of music?
That's a good question, man. I gotta stay with. I gotta go with my gut, man, because I'll say the 80s and 90s to me was the best era of music. You know, then you think about the 70s. Oh my God!
I appreciate your honesty. I thought you was gonna be you was gonna shy away and say you can't compare eras. No, I like that.
Yeah, man, it's a lot, but I do. But you know, I gotta say this though. Like I said earlier, we were so Jackson 5 bound, especially my Uncle Jesse. Boy, he used to eat, sleep Michael Jackson. Get up with glitter socks, wake up with glitter socks on with a Michael Jackson wig. He was obsessed with Michael Jackson. So I can't lie. When we heard New Edition come up with Candy Girl, sounded like the Jackson 5, we were shell shocked. Like, yo, who are these guys?
It was a long gap before you got
down, like, you know. Yeah. So I gotta tip my hat to New Edition because they beat us to the punch because we made a record called 1+1 that kind of got the little Jackson 5 sound to it, but New Edition already beat us to the punch. But we still wanted to make a record like that to let them know. We could do that too. We really stuck with it, but we had to stick to our sound, you know. But we highly respect them guys, man, for what they did in the whole music game, because they look at us like big brothers. We tour with them a lot, and I mean, we was a handful on tours with them, boy, because we was head on. We were serious competition with them because we was both two hungry groups that came out in like 84, 85. They came out a little before we did, but we were both very hungry, and you know, it came times. This is facts. You know, it came time supposed to tone out Showdown, not them, but their management. Hey, you guys, because we used to do all the flips, pop locking. We used to do all that stuff in our show, and it came time when their management said, "Hey, man, if you guys don't slow down, tone your show down, I'm gonna kick you off the tour." So it came to that. You know, No Addition's innocent bystander. They just love. They watched us every night. They watched us every night performing, man. So we develop a real tight bond, just us being the big bros and watching them. And we used to watch them, and it was a big, we got a bond for the rest of our lives because what we did in the beginning of our careers.
And like you mentioned New Edition, you mentioned yourselves. I'm with Bill and I'm with you. I believe the 80s and 90s is like the best when it comes to R&B music. Reason being, I really appreciate the producers. I think from that era, they bought a lot of music, and you guys were fortunate enough to work with one of my favorite collection of producers. So
absolutely,
Jimmy Jam and Terry, they were gaining momentum at this point. So for the second album, whose idea was it to work with these guys?
Terry Lewis and Jimmy Jam.
Yeah.
It was Monica Lynch. She was the president of Tommy Boy Records. It was the movie Crush Groove that gave the whole idea, because that's a movie they called us on to want to be in the movie because we are known as a hip hop R&B group. They wanted us to be in the movie at first, but it all changed toward like the day getting closer. They changed. Hey, listen, we're gonna go with New Edition to get in the movie because they're a more popular group, but we could try to work you guys on the soundtrack somehow. We said, hey, what can we do? We said, we was already in a movie called Rapping with Mario Van Peebles. We was already in that. I guess there wasn't 2 movies back to back. So
Too overexposure.
Yeah. We didn't mind. So now Monica was dating one of the producers of the movie. They were dating, and they were saying, hey man, we got to get a ballot for this movie. I was thinking of giving these guys, these producer guys, Jimmy Jam and Terry Lewis, a shot. They said they had a love ballad that they can definitely present to the movie. I had to send them footage of the movie so they can come up with a ballad. So they sent them footage of the movie. Seen the candle. That's why Tender Love hit him and her laying in the bed. Here I lay all alone, toss and turn. Because they watched the clips to the love scene and made it into a song called Tender Love. Then said, okay, how about I think we'll get a song to New Edition to sing Tender Love. They'll be great for it. But Monica, she would not let that happen. She says, no. You gotta let the Force. They didn't make the movie. Give them that song to do. Give the Force of D's that song to do. And they said New Edition had problems with the label that wouldn't let them do it anyway. So they actually handed the song to us, which God, I don't know.
Wait, time out. You said that a little too fast, Steve. I think we can't gloss over that.
Yeah, we heard that. We know what happened.
So basically, it sounds like I'm paraphrasing. It sounds like New Edition that song was meant for New Edition, but it was also probably deemed maybe too mature, which is why I don't know what the label said, but they go ahead.
Okay, I'll say. Let me slow it down a little bit. I'm sorry. Yeah. I'm New York, man. I talk fast.
No, you got it.
Slow it down. Okay. The song they made, they told Terry Lewis and Jimmy Jam to come up with a ballad for Crush Groove. Mm-hmm. So they said, Jam and Lewis said, all right, send us some footage from the movie so we can feed off it to try to make a song to it. So they let them see the love scene of Crush Groove with Sheila E. and Blair Underwood. Mm-hmm. So they came up with it. They said, hey, we got a song. Okay. So he says, so the producer of Crush Groove said, okay, great. Let me get New Edition.
There we go.
They'll be singing the song.
The producer wanted to hand it to New Edition, and then
right.
Monica said no.
Her girlfriend at the time, his girlfriend at the time, said you guys are better fit, and she was right.
Yeah, she must have did something to him that night, and he checked.
But the funny thing about that, and that kind of leads into my question, right? So that song. And we didn't know this until you told us when we spoke a couple weeks ago, or last week, 2 weeks ago. I was holding that in because I wanted to let it go to everybody, but I was holding it in. So Tender Love was supposed to go to New Edition.
Yes.
Were there any songs that were supposed to come to you that y'all didn't get, or maybe y'all didn't pass on, or maybe that you guys passed on, Force of D's passed on, that you're like, yeah, we should have kept that song ourselves?
Oh man. Another song that was supposed to come to us, but the record company didn't like it, is Why You Get Funky on Me.
Today.
What?
Yeah, they said that was supposed to come to us, but
it's supposed to be on the house party soundtrack.
Yeah. It wasn't a party soundtrack, but we got a song called Jive Time Sucker on it, which I ain't gonna get into it. But it was a cool song, but it wasn't. But we had to do what we had to do. But just to get back on the Tender Love thing, Tender Love ended up being Terry Lewis and Jimmy Jam's first ever crossover top 10 hit. Because all they produced it a couple of acts before that, like SOS Band and a couple other people. But when Tender Love came out, that burst the doors open for them, and so much just.
They're a household name at that point.
Household names.
I don't know if they don't collab with you guys. I don't know if they garner the attention of Janet Jackson.
Alexander O'Neal. Everybody came after that.
And I don't know if I think, well, actually they got recognized for a nomination or a Grammy for producing.
Producer of the year. That's
Yes.
when it,
So that's like you guys were responsible for kind of launching them.
yes.
That collaboration was responsible for launching them into like the stratosphere.
Exactly. And it hurts sometimes we don't get mentioned a lot with them, but it's still love, we know we did it. It's like if we always forgot name that they forget at times a lot. They forget us once in a while, they remember, but they always forget us a lot. At times, that hurts, man, but it's all love, man. It's all love.
I tell you what, we ain't forget about you because that's why you sitting in front of us right now. So
I got to reflect this too, real quick.
Go ahead.
I just want people to know how we felt, man. Just BET Awards, how that really hurt us bad, man.
The Soul Train of the BET Awards.
Jim, that one gem of a song we made from Jeremy Lewis, man. And they did a tribute to Jeremy Lewis on the BET Awards, and nobody bothered to call us to let us know this, to be involved. And we sitting in our houses watching this, and the first song they play for the dedication is Tender Love. Boys and Men singing it. Instead of calling us, they had SOS Band sing this song, Sherelle, Alexander O'Neal, but didn't call us, man. That hurt it, man. Didn't mention our name not one time on the whole show. They just mentioned all the people they produced, did not even mention our name, man. That hurt. That really hurted us, man.
It should. I mean, this is the Lifetime Achievement Award, I think, when they had everybody performing medleys of songs they produced. Now, was it it was either on BT or Soul Train, but
Soul Train, I think Soul Train it was, but Soul Train it was.
Yeah, and I think something similar happened to I think Fantasia's song.
Karen White.
Babyface. Yeah, because Babyface had it that previous year, and I think instead of reaching out to Karen White, they
got Fantasia to do it.
Yeah, so you guys didn't get a phone call, not a text, not a DM.
Nothing, man.
Man,
that makes it worse.
Like, yeah. You ain't even like give me a chance to say no.
yeah. Like no respect.
My next question, and you kind of answering it now. I was going to ask, do you think when it comes to your legacy, do you guys feel like Force MDs get a fair handshake?
No, actually, no. That's a big no. It's so many things, even when it comes to one of the architects of R&B hip hop, we never get mentioned. Oh, Mary J. Blige. They just skip right over us. Guy, Mary J. Blige. They skip over like, man, we came up with Let Me Love You, It's Your Boy Scratch, all these songs that was hip hop and R&B. They just overlook it, man. And some people recognize it, but it's a whole lot like the big TV, the big show on TV and stuff. Nah.
It's crazy because I don't think that there is any playlist of that era of music that does not include Tender Love, and everybody who knows who sang Tender Love.
Love is
or MDs. Love is a House. Here we go again. Come on, I mean these are
Quiet Storm
cult classics. These are cult classics. So I was just watching Metastar Bear, but I was just watching Tender Love today, the video, and I'm like, man, they just on the stoop. Boys just singing, swinging.
Yeah, man.
Man, that's crazy.
I mean, why do you think that is? Like,
I don't know. We just don't. We wasn't marketed, promoted big like New Edition and groups. We just didn't have the backing to push us like them. And it all comes to money and the team you got to really like push you the way you got to be pushed. Mm-hmm. Let me tell you something, man. If you only knew, man, I'm the member. I noticed from me being a member of the Force MDs, if you only knew how many people, excuse me, know the song Tender Love, but don't know who sings it. They don't know the group Find It. You ask average person, you know that song Tender? Yeah. Who sings that? I don't know, man. That's my shit. That's my joint, though.
They can sing it word for word, but they struggle to list the artists. And
right, they can't place the face with the people.
I don't have concrete evidence on this, but I would say when I think of your label, when I think of Tommy Boy, I'm thinking of Force and D's, but I'm also thinking of Queen Latifah. I'm thinking of Naughty by Nature. I'm thinking of De La Soul, Digital Underground. They seem like I feel like they were really trying to get into the rap game, and unfairly, they and that's the house y'all built, because the joint venture wise, I think they use Warner Brothers gave them an opportunity to either distribute. Part of their deal was you could distribute independently or you could use our muscle. And instead of choosing rappers, they chose Force and D's. And with the success of the first two albums, you're kind of the house that Tommy Boy built. And I think they possibly turned their back on you, but that's me speaking from the outside. And I don't
You're
know.
100% right, man. You're 100% right, man. It's just like, we helped merge with Warner Brothers. It's like Tender Love alone helped merge with Warner Brothers. We just they just never did that push like they do. I like, don't get me wrong, I appreciate everything they did.
Absolutely.
Never got the major push like we thought we can get. Always, it's a lot of payola from radio stations. I always wanted this, and Tom, he gave what he gave, but he didn't like to really give. So it's just a lot of political things that happen that just don't get us where we should be. We should be on another level than we are, man.
Yeah.
And I feel, my personal opinion, I feel we got so many songs that's been unheard that are great songs, but just never had to push to them. It's a lot, man.
And that's actually pretty crazy, because again, when you look at the success of Tender Love and you look at the success of Love Is a House, you would think that, hey man, we have something special. We got to push this to the forefront, because at that point in time, there was still a clear division between rap and R&B. Today, in my opinion, it's just all merged together. You don't know who's rapping, who's singing, R&B. Everything's the same. But at that time, when R&B was at its height, you could, there was enough lanes for rappers. There was enough lane, a lane for R&B, and you guys should have definitely been pushed more, especially when you're talking about you got Tender Love, like everybody knows that melody.
Yeah.
Everybody knows the melody.
Yeah, that's the, out of all of our songs, that's the song that crossed the barriers of the generations more than any other songs. Like, people are just think that we just sing Tender Love, don't know that we got all these other songs that we made. A lot of like the generation, unless they really research, like, oh wow, they sound good. Damn, they sing this too. They sing. I thought they don't know that. You could only imagine by Tender Love sticking out the way it is because the production of Terry Lewis and Jimmy Jam. And we did that song in 2.5 hours in the studio. And that was it. The guys in the group was like, well, Jesse, my uncle, was rest in peace. He was like, yo, man, I think it needs drums, man. And Jam and Lewis was like, nah, man, it's good just the way it is, man. Nah, I think it needs. He was going back and forth. Like, we was like, yo, Jesse, man, they say it's good like that. Let it stay like, nah, man, just need a little drum towards the end. He said, nah, let it stay like that. But they guaranteed us that it was going to be a huge hit without the drum. He was 100% right.
Did you when you were in the studio working with them, did you notice greatness? Like, did you feel, man, I think these guys are gonna be one of the best ever? Okay.
No, it just the way they're so cool. Like Morris, they cool. They got that cool stuff to them. We so comfortable with them. And he's like, yeah, that's it. Do it again. That's it. Yeah, pile it up. Let's double it, triple it. Yo, man, y'all got it, man. And then my brother, TC, just sung it so effortlessly. And they was like, man, yeah. That's it, man. My brother's always, let me do it one time. No, keep that, man. Keep it. Keep it just like it is, man.
So when go ahead.
And I just like, we didn't, plus, when they mixed it down, man, it seemed even bigger. When we recorded, it seemed even bigger. Like, wow, like they got a good recording staff. They got the way they do it, man. It was like, wow. And like I said, after we did Tender Love, that opened the doors for people. What I was saying earlier, and so just a lot of ballads. They that set their whole ballad thing up.
And when you
and the rain, all the ballads.
Oh yeah.
And when you look at the magic you guys were able to create, you know, whose idea was it? Because was it a conscious decision not to incorporate them on the third album?
Actually, it was Tom Silverman. You know, budget wise, they didn't want. They got a little more expensive since Janet.
Price went up. Yep.
They didn't really want to pay the price.
Mm-hmm.
They didn't want to pay the price, so we got lucky when they found two gentlemen from London, England, two white guys from London, England, Jeff Garoof and that other guy. Don't quote me. I don't know his name by heart, but they came with a tape. They came in the office. We got the song for full CDs. They got to hear. So it's like, okay, so let's listen to it. Listen to it. So Rob is, hey guys, I think we got a great song here. I'm gonna give you guys like a week to really just dissolve it, listen to it, and see if you guys want to record it. It's called Love Is a House. So okay, we listened to it. So we was listening. They had a female singing the reference track of it first, but the bass line sounded so funky, groove, and that snare. We said, "Yo, I think we put our sauce on this. We can make this joint pop." And we decided, okay, let's do it. We did it. That became one of our number one hits. The House.
Well, that's a good one too. That was a good one too. Well, y'all gave us one. Now I sure appreciate those two boys, the two guys in London, for bringing it over. Oh boy,
they made up. And guess what? Everybody thought that Jam and Lewis produced that because it had that sound, that kind of sound. They thought James. Nah, they didn't do this one. Even when I recently talked to James, but everybody thought we produced Love Is a House.
So were there any producers or artists, anybody around that time that you guys really wanted to work with that you didn't get a chance to?
Oh, we really wanted to work with Teddy Riley and Baby.
Yeah.
But Tom Silverman just didn't want to do that budget, man. So we had to but we got our good friends Full Force. They did two good songs for us. Two good songs. They did a song called Are You Really Real and Walking in the Sunshine. That was a remake, but they did a great job. I got to shout out to Full Force because Are You Really Real had that Teddy Riley New Jack Swing sound. You know, like if you said it was Teddy Riley, people would have believed it was Teddy Riley. Full Force had it so close, but you know, people look at the names and that's Full Force. I thought it was Teddy Riley, but Full Force. We was happy with it because they then became great producers themselves and produced a boatload of people. So shout out to
did they? Man. So okay, I got another question for you there. When y'all were at your pinnacle, your height, right? Because I was talking to Barry about this a little earlier before we got on. Magic Johnson, Larry Bird were running the game.
Right.
When Michael Jordan came, they knew he was going to be a problem. They got it firsthand. They knew he was going to be a problem. Right. When you guys were at your pinnacle, was there any artists that were coming that you felt, man, these boys going to be a problem, or this female, whoever? Did you know that anybody was going to be a problem when you started hearing about them?
That's easy. Guy and Jodeci. That's simple.
Okay.
I heard, oh boy, these guys about to do it. This guy sound like the dude from the Gap Band.
Charlie.
Yeah, Aaron.
Beats are so funky. And guess what? Guy got turned down from Tommy Boy Records. The record he's on, they turned them down.
Where was Tommy Boy headquartered?
In Manhattan.
Okay. Yeah. That's
downtown.
Crazy.
Uptown Manhattan. It be like 91st Street.
And coincidentally, they ended up going to Uptown Records.
Yes. Like, they wanted to be like another, because Tommy Boy didn't have a lot of singing groups on their label.
They didn't. I think they focused on the rap game.
To add Guy to be like another, like Guy just trying to audition, say, yo, they seen what they did with us because they were a fan of us. They was a fan of our group. They said, "Hey, what if let's try to get on with the Force?" And they never let that happen. Yeah, I wish they would have because we would have had Teddy on a whole lot of records.
Yes, sir.
In-house producer. That would have been
in-house producer. Yes, yeah. So that didn't happen. He turned down a lot of people. Oh, like Tupac, Wu-Tang. Tommy Boy made a lot of Madonna. He made a lot of misses.
Yeah.
But he made some hits.
And he had Digital Underground,
hits, but
he let Tupac go. Like they made some missteps.
They definitely made some missteps, but nobody knows. Again, a lot of people turn Jay-Z down. Every record company turned Jay-Z. So I got to make my own joint, Rockefeller. It gets like that. People don't hear it when you think they hear it.
What did you hear? What did you hear from Jodeci that you had that feel?
Okay, I heard from Jodeci kind of what Guy had, but just a little more soulful.
Yeah, sound like church.
A little more soulful. Casey brought a little extra salt to it. I was like, wow, I said, and I like their harmonies. He has really good harmonies. I like the whole sound. Devontae had a great sound. I heard it. I remember hearing Forever My Lady ride down. I was riding down south with somebody. I was like, who is this? I said, is this Aaron? I said, "Don't sound like Aaron." And I said, no, this is somebody different. That's wow. I said, this is new from Jodeci. I said, oh, them boys about to blow.
You mentioned you mentioned Steve. You mentioned judging groups by their sound, and I think that's almost like a foreign experience. We don't do that anymore. So, are you a fan of Versuz? Do you watch Versuz?
Yes, I do.
Did you catch the most recent one? The Marion and the versus Mario versus the preliminary.
Look, you had Bobby Valentino and Ray J versus Pleasure P and
Sammy.
Ray J, Sammy, Pleasure P, and Bobby V. So I guess my question is, I think the feedback is, if you've been paying attention to social media, that I think fans are disturbed that folks don't sound like they do live as they do on the record.
Exactly.
And you're mentioning back then the sound is what got you first. So I mean, what is your feedback on what you saw with the Versuz stage? How important is that?
First of all, getting drunk, getting on that's a no. That's a big no. These guys be getting drunk. I ain't saying every person. Some people drunk and think that's gonna help. Sometimes you embarrass yourself in front of a whole lot of people. Don't even realize till you see the feed, till you see the playback. They get drunk. When you get on that, you got to be focused. Like, just do this. I'll drink to celebrate afterwards. We had a good verses. I got a nice check. Now we can celebrate. But you get all drunk getting on there and try to, I don't know, think that's going to help. That's not good. A lot of them was overexcited.
Yeah.
Trying to outdo each other.
Yep.
But too crazy out trying to do each other. Ray J was clearly drunk. The way he sounded, he was drunk. I seen Ray J sound better other times, but he sounded really bad. I know Brandy was definitely embarrassed. Jeremiah, he must have had a whole court getting on there like he's helping. He made it worse for Marion. I don't know why he brought him up there. Tank sounded great, of course. Tank, you could tell Tank wasn't drunk. Tank was very focused, and he just did, helped him out a little bit. But Sammy was a little. Sammy sounded good. He's a little overexcited. He's shots too much. I thought they was about to fight. They made it real ghetto, and it didn't have to be like that. It didn't like that. If they was all more relaxed and just say, "Hey, all right, I like that. Well, check this one out." They was going in a little too hard with each other. When it came to the main event, the Marion and Mario, I think listening to Marion dance and trying to sing, it just didn't match. His vocal ability doesn't match Mario's vocal ability. Mario's a very polished singer. He's very good. I'm talking about scale-wise, octave. He just got Marion is on one speed, that same low tone. can't do none of the stuff Mario just flexed his vocal ability to outshine our Marion's dancing and trying to sing at the same time. Even though Amarion may have more hit records than Mario still proved it ain't even all about that. It's how you serenade these women, your vocal ability, and the way you seduce them in your singing. That's all you got to do. That'll outshine anything you're trying to do. And that's exactly what Mario did.
I'm glad you said that because we did a Versuz recap. We did a Versuz recap about it, right? And we said that if you're looking at just songs, just a song versus a song, we had a Mario kind of taking a win, right? Just a song.
Just a song versus song.
Just song versus song. But there's a difference between winning a battle and losing the war. Mario clearly won the war, and it made it look bad.
Yes.
So what he said, the criteria, and you mentioned this, it's actually made me go back and forth. So the way Versuz started, it used to be a DJ play your records, and it's just the records speak for themselves. I think after Earth, Wind, and Fire, it's like now performance is getting factored. And
right.
Yeah. So like for me, I can't help but notice, like, yes, this song may have done better on the charts, but clearly he's beating you when it comes to like talent right now, performance, all of that stuff plays a role, and you confirmed it. I have a question for you, Steve.
Yes.
You ready?
Yes.
So the core thing I like, you mentioned a couple things, and I agree with you. I think that you guys weren't necessarily dealt a fair handshake when it came to your career path, as in, I don't know if you got the same push as some other folks out there. However, the talent speaks for itself. Also, the hits and the legacy, like I can't go through a Quiet Storm mix without hearing at least one of your songs, definitely two, but I'm going to hear your music, right? So the thing I like that Versuz introduced, they introduced this format where it's almost like Versuz light. It's the idea of maybe folks who they didn't necessarily get the right push from their record label back in the day, but they got a couple hits that we all know. What about if we team them with so-and-so and we let them go on stage?
Right.
Would you possibly throw your you and the Force MD's name into the hat for like if they could clean it up and clean up the format, would you possibly throw your name into the hat for something like that?
Oh yeah, for sure.
It's a two-part question. I'm gonna ask you to beat your chest a little bit.
Okay.
Who are you calling out?
Oh boy.
Yeah.
That's a good one, man.
It's 10 songs. You get to team up with somebody, and you also got to call out two groups, preferably from your era, but it's whoever you want.
All right. From my era. So my era has to be the 80s.
Mm-hmm.
I'm trying to figure out, I know Guy, even though, well, let's take New Edition out the scenario because they are just way above everybody with hits when it comes to hit records. So let's go into like Troop. These are groups like Troop.
My boys. Friends of the show.
Friends of the show. Friends of the show.
Yeah. Troop. If that's a group I would like to team up with. Anyway.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
And who are you guys? Charging towards?
We'll probably go against High Five or High Five and let me see, High Five and what to say, H-Town. H-Town.
See that?
Okay. H-Town.
I can see that.
H-Town.
Yeah.
H-Town.
That's nice. I think it's a possibility, but the fact that you're not opposed to it, I would like to see a lot of groups that you mentioned not getting your respect. I think I'm glad you did this interview because I think this is pointed towards the right direction where I think you guys are entitled to respect. Mm-hmm. So the fact that you're saying you're not against something like that, I want to see more acts like yourself hit the stage and show us what performance looks like, where you can still perform and not sound out of breath and still carry a tune and still be able to harmonize. I want to see that.
That's something I know we can do. So I'm not, and I know Troop, they can do it because when I'm talking about like groups that remind of us is Troop. They remind me of ourselves as a younger version of us because all the gender flips and stuff they used to do, and they had more like a breakdance hip hop steps. Say like, so they are definitely and they can drop it on the dime too with acapella, and it's definitely one of our favorites. Definitely one of our favorites.
When you mentioned some groups, and again, that's part of me all listening to them. You mentioned one group particular, which is H-Town, and I remember when they first broke out. I believe I was a senior in high school or whatever. What do you think about what do you think about Dino?
Are you talking about
the lead singer? The lead singer. Yes, the one that passed.
He was a problem, bro. He was the real deal. Holyfield. I'm talking about when you say soulful voice. He really hit it on the nail, man. And shout out to his brother who's holding it down, man. Who sounds similar to. I didn't know his brother could sound like. His brother sound very similar to him, man. That's like us. We're brothers, and we hold a lot of stuff that our brother TC held down. It's a family gene, and big shout out to them, man. And they still doing it. Him and GI still out there holding it down. And I'm happy they're still doing their thing, man. They kept the group. They didn't even add nobody. They just said them twos can do it themselves, man. A big shout out to them, man. H-Town, they're my boys right there. So,
yeah.
It's definitely a lot of good groups that was out. Of course, Blackstreet. They're bad. They're bad too. Blackstreet. It's so many, man. I don't want to skip nobody. Everybody, we got
Shy. We got Shy. Shy was out there.
Shy's a good group too. Shy. Portrait.
Ooh, I like Portrait. Here we go again. Okay.
Again. Yeah, it was good. As Yet was good.
Yeah.
Last night.
Yeah.
They had a lot of good groups,
After 7, man. I loved After 7.
After 7. Oh my God, yeah. Man, we got a show coming up with them soon. The group that for Versuz, I want to see who can go up against Boys and Men.
We talked about that.
Oh man, I'm glad you said that.
Yeah.
We literally have talked about that. I think Bear and I have talked about that at least 4, 5, 6 times. That's on air, and we talked about it. We're going back and forth. Me in particular, I said I think it should be Boyz II Men and Jodeci, only because of the era. They were the yin and the yang. It was like, the good preppy guys, the street guys. I think that would be a good battle. And if it can't be them,
I said it should.
I say New Edition, the whole Mr. Miyagi, Daniel-san, the teacher, the student type thing.
Yeah. It's just New Edition catalog is just, if you put them all together, I'm saying it depends on how you're gonna do a New Edition catalog.
It's a cheat code. It's a cheat code.
It's dumb.
That's just hard to beat, man. They're hard to beat. Talk about they got enough material to go up against the Temptations, with all of this stuff all together. They got enough material. New Edition hard to beat.
Realistically, if they come together, if they come correct in both, and they're all professional, they come correct and they all perform the way they're supposed to do it. You could go through 20 rounds and just have straight ties. So,
yeah.
So,
you're so right about that, man.
Yeah.
You're so right about that, man. But like I said, man, if ever came a chance, Versuz would be a good thing for us so people can recognize, because we had a lot of songs, Couldn't Care Less, Touch and Go. We make a lot of songs, man. People don't they know what they hear. Oh, they made that. How many times I get that? Y'all made that?
Yep.
I didn't think y'all made that. I get that all the time, man.
Oh man.
But it's all good.
So we've coming and closing out. We mentioned True. We spoke with John from True. We spoke with some good brothers, Men at Large. Matter of fact,
Rude Boys, like Rude Boys too, man.
We talked to Joe. Joe's my guy, man. Joe's my guy. I think I can't remember which one it was. It was either Jason or Dave. They told me, "Hey, tell him we said what's up." That we
Both of
told them
them.
we're talking to you
Oh,
today.
for
They
real?
said, yeah, we talked to him
We talked to
today.
him this morning.
Yeah.
They told us to, man, let you know that they talk, they asked about you and everything.
Yeah, they're good people.
Everybody seems to, because I follow everybody on social media and I see where you guys are doing shows together and so forth. I see that there's so much of a brotherhood with you guys going on right now, right? I'm talking about like a true friendship brotherhood that's going on. Was it like that when you were in your heyday of the music industry?
Yeah, pretty much, man. We were really close with Levert back then. They were really good friends, man. When that happened with Gerald, man, man.
R.I.P.
Yeah, R.I.P. to Gerald and Sean, man. We used to tour with them, man. And Roger Trotman and Zap.
Wow.
A lot. It's crazy, we did have a brotherhood, man. We used to get those shows, man, because that's one thing about us, man. We known for to give a good stage show, man. And we were so happy to be with people that did the same, and we just always celebrated, man. Just happy to be around each other. Just always happy. We never got into no fight, none of that with no groups, man. We always just try to keep a good rapport with everybody, man, because or need each other. We don't know we gonna need each other at the tail end, man. So we always been good with everybody, man. That's why you rarely gonna hear, my Uncle Jesse, rest in peace. He get a little crazy sometimes, but we was always good with everybody, man. He just made people laugh because he's real funny, like outgoing, man. But we pretty much kept a good rapport with everybody, man, because we all we got, man. Because right nowadays, it ain't many singing groups out right now. It's a lot of just solo artists. Yeah. They kind of put that to the back burner, being in a singing group. And you can't name, it's hard to name right now in 2022, 5 black R&B groups out right now. Can't even do it because it's hardly any.
If I name 5, it's going to be 5 that were already out.
And
that, 2000.
It's a lost art. It's a lost art.
That's the rest. It's a lost art right now, man.
But you guys are carrying the torch. And actually, if the cool thing is, and we're dedicating the show to a lot of your deceased members. So RIP.
Yeah, the TC, brother TC, RIP, Uncle Jesse D, RIP to Mercury, RIP to Trisco. Former members of the Force MDs who are with us spiritually every time we're on stage and everything we do to keep the legacy alive. Me, myself, my brother Khalil Lundy, and our nephew Zaim Capers is now the 3 members that have been keeping the Force MDs alive for the last 3 years. My nephew Zaim is a solo artist also. Please look out for him. It's called Zaim the Dream. There's a project called Butter Smooth. Make sure you get that because he's he's a really good singer. And we just love to have him with us when he's with us because he's definitely in the bloodline and you can hear it when you hear us perform, man. So
and that's the beautiful part that I want to mention. Number one, you guys are still performing and you're going strong. And Steve, can you tell the people where they could find you at?
Yes, you can find
social media. Go ahead.
You can find me on Stevie D FMDS on Instagram. You can look the original Force MDs, official Force MDs on Instagram and then Twitter. And you can find me Stevie D Lundy on Facebook. Check us out, man. And I think I mentioned to you guys we still putting songs out. Like I said, one of our recent ones is called "Fly With You." It's a song dedicated to people that passed away. That goes to anybody. It's definitely emotional. And another one called "Make You Happy." So that we still putting out music with.
And then and Bill, look, we got a legend with us today. Y'all all heard the music before, so this is the cool part where we actually get a chance to interview folks that we listened to growing up, but we want to hear from our audience. Bill, what's the way that they could give us their 2 cents on who they want to see us interview next?
So, our audience, you guys know what to do. Go to our comment section, what we've renamed My 2 Cents, and leave any comment that you have. If you need a question that needs to get to Stevie D, Let us know anything about touring, new songs. Leave any questions or comments in that comment section, and we'll make sure that he gets those questions or comments. So I know for myself, I know for Barry and anybody else who have listened to any of Force MD's songs, Stevie D, we truly appreciate you.
Thank you, bro.
We haven't forgot about you. We haven't forgot about you, the Force MDs, or anybody else. We love y'all, man. Thank y'all.
Thank you. Salute to everybody. Thank y'all. Thanks for having me.
Cool.
Yes,
Follow us on the information's on the screen, guys. Outside of that, peace.
Peace.